not everybody, but most people I've talked to have talked about when they move away from their team, whatever that, last, you know, team, their competitive career and losing that culture of like the locker room.
Hmm.
And it sounds like you already had a family at that point and so on and so forth. And I think it seems like that is something that is helpful to people in those moments. But did you experience any sort of loss of community or locker room?
Yeah, I did. To your point, I had a family and then kind of quickly kind of transitioned into coaching my oldest son. So I stayed involved and I had people around me. And I think that helped a lot. But to that point, it is hard, if not impossible, to replicate a sports locker room. And there's just something about everyone working together, striving towards a common goal and putting the work in day after day after day after day together and traveling together and being on the road together and everything that it's just really hard to replicate in an office job, right? So that's tough. I definitely felt a loss in that regard. Now I think once again, I don't think mine was maybe as extreme compared to, let's say, someone who retired because of injury and they were single and didn't have kids. Now they're really isolated and probably pissed off and going through some stuff. And that's difficult. That's hard. I can't relate to that as much just because that wasn't my journey. But those are much, much harder transitions and are very real.
Definitely. I went through the majority of my questions. I usually like to end on, I guess I went through all my questions. I usually like to end on, for somebody who is at that point where they're done with competitive sports, trying to figure out whatever is next. What sort of advice would you have for that person?
That's a good one. I would say network first and foremost. Like there's people that have been in your shoes. There's people that have navigated the transition, whether smooth or rocky. Like I have found that athletes want to help other athletes just as other people want to help other people in different industries and different spaces. So, network, reach out, ask for help. Anyone who's gone through it knows it's not easy. There might be some, small percentage of people that knock it out of the park, but that's rare. Most people struggle and try to figure out what's next. I always say, like, I was the kid growing up that in my journal, in like elementary school, teachers asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? Pro soccer player, pro soccer player, pro soccer, every single time for me, right? From when I was a little kid. And what most people don't realize is like, I didn't have a second dream, like that was the dream, right? I didn't have pro soccer player and then lawyer and then sales.